When it came to me, I mentioned that I was in the mining business. And 3 or 4 of these guys lit up and immediately said, "What coin? What coin do you mine?" Just moved back from Toronto. I spent 10 years there, as you know. To stay in shape, I was playing basketball with kids much younger. It was good chasing them around the court, and I've noticed I was developing some of these veteran, more experienced moves to gain an edge out there. We went out for beers one day after playing and kind of going around the table discussing what everyone did for their career or what they were doing for work. And when it came to me, I mentioned that I was in the mining business. And 3 or 4 of these guys lit up and immediately said, "What coin? What coin do you mine?" So, it just speaks to where that younger generation investor is, and certainly the education around mining. There's certainly a disconnect between the screen on our phones or the car that we drive and where those materials come from to this day. I think of it as going to the grocery store and buying a package of chicken. People aren't thinking about where that animal came from. And I think it's very similar with the products and things we use in the real world. People don't think of the mine that needs to be built to generate those products.
Yeah, I mean, if you use it, you either have to grow it or you have to mine it. It's one of those two things.
For sure.
Crypto, I mean, in many ways, it's eaten the junior market's lunch. I mean, the younger generation, as aptly described in your story, are much more interested in trading these crypto coins than they are stocks, which has been a real challenge, I think, for the junior sector in particular. Now, the question is, are they training the next group of junior investors that are going to move to stocks, or is crypto going to continue to be the next big thing?
I think reaching that audience just needs to be done in a new creative way.
Yes.
Gone are the days of sitting at a booth for 3 days straight waiting for elderly people that have known this industry and been gold bugs their whole life to come by and show interest. There needs to be a different approach and more education out there for that younger gen.
Well, they were elderly in the late 90s when I started as well,
Right.
so they're probably mostly gone. The crypto piece is interesting. Obviously, I'm CEO of American Pacific, but I invested early on in one of these initial coin offerings. So I've actually transacted in the crypto space. And it was easy at the time. It was early on. This would have been 2017. It was easy to get your money in, somewhat challenging to get your money out, as my recollection. But trading it was very simple. A, the markets are 24/7, and B, there was a ton of liquidity. So it was very easy to trade. And you're doing it all on your phone with very, very minimal commission. So we can see why people like it. The challenge for the likes of us is now tapping into that group of investors and showing them those gains can be found over on this side of the fence.
On the theme of speculators, I think if nothing else, it's shown that generation that money can be made quickly. I'm not so sure that they've measured and calculated the risks associated with it. It's been more of a momentum trade. But again, on speculating, that was the advantage I saw in the mining world. To borrow a sports analogy, the mining industry relative to the broader macro market is Division III field hockey or something. It's not very well known. There's niche businesses within it and sectors where there's definitely dislocated value and opportunity. So again, as a speculator, you look at this industry, you work hard, and you speak to people. It's a small network. New opportunities can be identified quite easily.
We initially bonded over our passion for this business, so let's start here. Best part and worst part of junior mining. You first.
I think the best part has to be the thrill of drilling for a new discovery. It's to me the most exciting part of our business. Perhaps that and rushing out to stake claims when you've found an idea somewhere on a belt that is open for staking. The most challenging or worst part of our business, well, Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate with our best ideas. And certainly educating, I think, the broader public on the necessary commodities for our future and We often get a lot of opposition to mining just with a broad painted brush that creates a lot of challenges. What about you?
I'll start with the worst part. I think the cyclical nature of the business is tough, uh, challenging when you're trying to raise capital once you have found something, or if you're in the process of trying to find something and you get in a terrible bear market. Also, very difficult to keep good talent when there's not a lot of money. That's a real challenge. So I think that's probably the worst part from my perspective. The best part, it's a lot of good parts. Discovery for sure. I'll lean on my late dad for this one, who often commented, although he wasn't in the business, he would hear the stories of all the characters in this business. I mean, a lot of these people couldn't work at AT&T or TELUS. I mean, they're the real characters of what this business is. So I think that's probably, the people is certainly some of the best part.